I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. Johanna, will you read the statement of compliance?
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual meeting notice was sent to the press of Atlantic City, the Star Ledger, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, the municipal website, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk. Please turn off all cell phones.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Johanna, please take the roll.
Mayor Collins,
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg, Commissioner Horn. Here.
Welcome, everybody. We will get right to our promotion ceremony. I'll invite the chief and Kathy Horn to the front.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just going to, first off, just give a little background on the reason for the promotions. So the reason for today's promotions is due to a recent and upcoming retirements. One was recent in Edward McGrath, retiring back in November as the fire official. And the other is Captain Chris Hornig, who will be retiring effective July 1st after 28 years of dedicated service. Chris started his career as an electrician and chose to leave his profession to become a firefighter. He has a good nature and has been an enthusiastic member of the fire department, always willing to help out and lend an extra hand. He rose through the ranks, always aspiring to do more within the Margate City Fire Department. Chris has served as a captain of Platoon 1 since April 19, 2018. He served under Chief Jones, Chief Kelly, Chief Tabasso, and myself. The City of Margate, the Margate City Fire Department, would like to thank Chris for his dedicated service to the city, the fire department, and most importantly, to the residents and visitors of the City of Margate. We wish him nothing but the best in his future endeavors. So that is the reason why we're here today, to celebrate this day and have promotions within the fire department. Now for the first promotion, we're going to call Brian Duffy and his family up. As they're coming up, I'm going to give you a little background on Brian. Brian joined the Margate City Fire Department as a firefighter on April 27, 2000. He is currently the president of the Fire Department Union. Brian has always aspired to do more within the Margate City Fire Department, always willing to lend a helping hand and go the extra mile. Brian started as a volunteer in the Longport Volunteer Fire Department in August 1994, following in the footsteps of his father John, who was a member as well, going back to 1973. Brian took the Firefighter 1 training course during the fall of his senior year in high school, navigating his school studies and rowing crew. Brian has always been about public safety and providing a service to the people. When he was not working as a firefighter, he worked as a lifeguard on the Longport Beach Patrol starting in June of 1993, where he was a lieutenant before retiring. Brian will be assigned to lieutenant of Platoon 1. As lieutenant, he will oversee all operations and incident responses for the shift in the absence of his captain. As lieutenant, he will oversee all training activities in coordination with the shift captain. And he has served under Chief Jones for 3 days, because Chief Jones retired May 1st and Brian got hired April 27th. Chief Kelly, Chief Tabasso, and myself. Brian will look to bring his many years of coaching crew and mentoring athletes to the fire department in his new leadership role. Commissioner, we have the Bible. Come on over, guys.
Repeat after me. I, Brian Duffy,
I, Brian Duffy,
do solemnly and sincerely promise
do solemnly and sincerely promise
and swear
and swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform and discharge
perform and discharge
all the duties
all the duties
of the Office of Fire Lieutenant
of the Office of Fire Lieutenant
in the Fire Department of the City of Margate City
in the Fire Department of the City of Margate City
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
and understanding,
and understanding,
so help me God.
so help me God.
guys want to talk? No. Do you want to say anything?
All I'm gonna say is thank you, everybody, for coming tonight, and, I thought about this. I'm gonna do the same job that I've always done, as well as everybody in the fire department. We're gonna provide the best service possible. That's what we're gonna do. So, thank you. Appreciate it.
I'd now like to call up Perry Coker and his family. Come on up there, sir. So, Perry Coker. Perry joined the Margate City Fire Department on June 6, 2016, which his anniversary date will be tomorrow, which is also my anniversary date, and starting 35 years as of tomorrow. Perry started his firefighting career as a volunteer firefighter when he joined the Seaville Volunteer Fire Company on December 5, 2011. He rose up through the ranks in Seaville Volunteer Fire Company and is currently the fire chief. Perry was also a Class II police officer in Margate City before taking the job in the fire department, and that was beginning in July of 2014. Perry has spearheaded a number of projects and activities for the fire department, and during his tenure, he continues to serve on the FMBA Local 41 Union Executive Board, where he is currently the state executive delegate. Perry will become a fire lieutenant and also serve as the fire inspector in Margate, a position formerly filled by Edward McGrath, who retired back in November. He will be assigned to Platoon 2 as the second lieutenant on the shift. Perry is an aspiring officer who is also a staff fire instructor at the Atlantic County Fire Academy. He served under Chief Tabasso and myself during his tenure. We look for Perry to bring his firefighting background, his instructor capabilities to his new position and increase the overall operational efficiencies of the firefighters under his command.
I, Perry Coker,
I, Perry Coker,
do solemnly and sincerely promise
do solemnly and sincerely promise
and swear that
I will support the Constitution
of the United States of America
and the Constitution
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform and discharge all the duties of the office of Fire Lieutenant, Fire Inspector in the Fire Department of the City of Margate City to the best of my ability and understanding, so help me God.
Brian, we're going to have to bring you back up. Quick picture. Everybody can slide in. We'll get together here. There we go. Terry, I just need your signature 3 times.
Sure.
Yeah. Brian, why don't you come up real quick before we do Dave swearing in with your family, and we'll get a quick family picture. We can, we'll do some more outside too. Get in the middle there, sir.
All right.
Mr. Commissioner. I'll stand next to your beautiful wife. All right, thank you. All right, and our final promotion of the night, you know the old saying, we save the best for last, right, Dave? That's what we're going to go with. So we're going to call Dave Funk and his family up. Dave joined the Margate City Fire Department as a firefighter on May 6, 2004. He was promoted to lieutenant in the Margate City Fire Department on January 16th, 2020. He is currently the treasurer of the Fire Department Union. Dave has always aspired to do more within the Margate City Fire Department, always willing to lend a helping hand and go the extra mile. Dave started as a volunteer in the Longport Volunteer Fire Department, following in the footsteps of his grandfather, father, and uncle. He rose to the rank of lieutenant during his tenure as a volunteer in Longport, where he served from 2000 to 2010. Dave has always been about public safety and providing service to the people. When he is not working as a firefighter, he works as a lifeguard on the Ventnor City Beach Patrol, where he was recently promoted to the position of chief. Dave will be assigned as a captain of Platoon 1. As a captain, he will oversee all operations and incident responses for his shift, as well as oversee all training activities and coordination. He has served under the following chiefs in the Margate City Fire Department: John Kelly, Tony Tabasso, and myself. We look for great things from Dave in his leadership abilities moving forward.
I, David Funk,
I, David Funk,
do solemnly
do solemnly
and sincerely promise
and sincerely promise
and swear that
and swear that
I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
of America
of America
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform and discharge
perform and discharge
all the duties of the office
all the duties of the office
of Fire Captain
of Fire Captain
in the Fire Department
in the Fire Department
of the City of Margate City
of the City of Margate City
to the best of my ability and understanding,
to the best of my ability and understanding,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Take the Bible from me. You'll have to hold on to that. Oh, we actually forgot. Well, actually, here, we'll bring them back up for a quick thing. I got a lot on my plate. You slide it out. There you go. Well, Brian and Perry, we're going to have to bring you back up real quick. Oh, there's a picture. All good, Jill? Got it. All right. Dave, the penny. Why don't you remind me, Dave?
I just remembered.
Well, Brian, real quick, if someone could come up and pin the badge for you. One in the center here. Did you sign all three? Oh, there's three, sorry. Get this for you here. Pull that out. Slide it up. Slide it up.
Put it right through that top hole. No, top hole here. Top hole there. And then back on it. And then the bottom hole.
Yeah, I can do that.
What's that?
You want to get a picture? Sean, you want to get a picture? Just look at your brother real quick. Just let it just go through the hole. As long as it's sitting there, it's able to hold it.
Good job, dude.
There you go.
Nice work. Nice work.
Perry, real quick, since we forgot. It's hot in here now. It's hot in here now.
Thank you.
Oh, we'll let her take it out here. Just slide it out. Let's slide it out. Okay, slide out. There you go. Perfect. Just walk back, get a picture of you. You can take it. I'll get Johanna. Oh, I gave you two of Dave Funk. There we go. Perfect. All right. Here, I'll go outside and get a picture.
All right, congratulations again to Brian, Perry, and Dave. give you all a minute if anyone wants to clear the room for pictures. Thank you. All right, we will continue. Ed, if you want to begin with the engineering report, please.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Okay, we're starting off. We have a lot of progress to report at this meeting, which is great. So starting off with our dredging program, we've been in a little bit of a holding pattern since the DOT informed us that we could not use dredge hole 86 for our citywide dredging project. Since then, we've had a dredging committee meeting. We've had some conversations with DEP on the status of our dredging permit. They have confirmed that all they need to issue our citywide dredging permit is a letter of acceptance from a disposal site. So the dredging committee is recommending that we approach the DOT, who happens to also control the Gateway CDF site in Pleasantville, which is an approved placement site for dredge material. That would essentially be our temporary placement site until the Shelter Island project kind of shakes itself out. So we've reached out to the DOT. We've requested their letter of acceptance to use that site for our dredging permit. And they said that they would review and get back to us with some initial feedback by tomorrow. So that would be great. This would allow us to, again, secure our citywide dredging permit, which would obviously allow the city to proceed with a city dredging project, but would also enable private property owners who are within the city to dredge their own areas or boat slips under the city's permit. So once we get to that point, there will be a public outreach process to inform everyone of how the process would work. But we have made good progress on that, and we're receiving some favorable feedback from the DEP as far as how close we are on getting that permit issued. So we'll report next meeting on where we stand with the DOT and our alternate site. Related to that is the Shelter Island site, which we have been pursuing for some time now as our preferred placement site for dredge material. It is under our control jointly with the city of Ventnor. The cost to dispose of dredge material at that site would be significantly less, since we wouldn't be paying a third party to place the material there. Long story short, we've also been in a holding pattern there with the DEP due to their requirements for some studies that have been conducted by Stockton. We submitted a study in the fall. We had some comments that came back from the DEP, essentially directing us to complete a third study. We pushed back on that. We got some help from our local legislators, and we were notified this week that the DEP has reconsidered. We are not required to complete additional study, and we can now finally submit our permit application for Shelter Island as a placement site for the city, which is excellent news in the long run. But again, we're attacking this on a parallel path to get our permit issued while the Shelter Island process plays itself out. Still no guarantees on Shelter Island, but this was a major milestone for us to advance that process. So some good progress to report on dredging. Likewise, for the Washington Avenue Streetscape project, we've made some really good progress since our last meeting. Just to recap, we did have a public presentation a couple meetings ago. We got some good initial feedback. After that public presentation, we've continued to receive feedback from members of the public, property owners along Washington Avenue. We took that feedback. We did a first round of revisions, which we reviewed internally last week. And then we had a meeting with a group of business owners and private property owners earlier this week on Monday, and had some really good conversation, got some additional feedback from that group, and we are revising the plans further based on some of that feedback. And just generally, and again, the plans, once they are revised, we can post them on the website so everyone can kind of see the final version. But just generally, the main revision is where we had that two-way bike path, or that bike lane, that was on the Longport side of Washington Avenue. We're revising the plan so we will have still a one-way street on Washington Avenue to Amherst. The parking will be on both sides of the street up against the curb, just like it is now, and we will have a bike lane on the Ventnor side of Washington Avenue going towards Amherst Avenue. So basically a one-way bike lane going in one direction. The idea being that that leads to our one-way bike lane on Amherst, and then eventually we can complete the loop and bring the bikes back down Coolidge as part of a future phase. So what this does is it addresses some of the concerns of the property owners along that stretch, as well as some feedback from police and fire, just to give us some additional space for emergency access. Again, I think this process was successful in the sense that we really made some significant changes to the project based on feedback from all the stakeholders involved. So I want to thank everyone who did participate in that process, from the public, the interested property owners. I think we're going to end up with a better project because of it. So the next steps here are that we will finish up the plans with these revisions, send them into DOT, and get authorization to bid for construction this fall. So that's where we are with the streetscape project. On the Amherst Avenue drainage project, we did get our initial round of comments back from DEP for the Green Acres diversion at the Waterfront Park, and we're working through those comments. And once we get a level of comfort there, we may proceed with the engineering design on a parallel track, just to kind of keep that project moving. So once we get to that point, we'll report on that. So we're making some progress there. So we have a number of projects where we received bids today. One of them was the next phase of Winchester Avenue, which the bids came in under budget, which is great. So we obviously don't have anything to take action on today since we just received the bids this morning, but we did receive favorable bids there. Likewise, for the 2024 road program, we also received bids today. Those bids also came in under budget, which is also good. Our lead service line replacement project is out to bid now, and that bid opening will be next week. So we'll be able to report on that and take action at the next meeting later this month. Turning the page, our Public Works building project, we are in the process of going through final design review and developing potential design revisions. That process is just about complete on our side with the design team, and then we can take a look at it as a team with the city and decide how we may want to revise those plans from a value engineering standpoint. The Ventnor Avenue parking lot project, the plans have been sent over to the county engineering office, and we are coordinating with the county engineers to determine what the approval process will be for the parking lot. We also received bids this morning on the Atlantic Avenue bike lane painting project, which also came in under budget. So all of our bids today came in under budget, some significantly under budget, which is great news. The next phase of Atlantic Avenue is in design. The 2025 road program is just starting the design process, so our surveyors are out there, and that work is in progress. Item M, the MS4 compliance. We have developed an approach to finally comply with the comments from DEP. We've gone through several rounds of comments, and we think hopefully this will be the last step in satisfying the comments from DEP. No update on our pending grants, other than we are working on our 2026 NJDOT state aid applications, which are due at the end of the month. Jumping down to our construction projects, we are going to release one of the maintenance bonds listed for the municipal building renovations that were completed a couple years ago. So you can see that list being whittled down. We'll have a couple left through the rest of the year. Likewise, our projects in closeout are down to 2. The 2023 road program continues to proceed with our schedule being that we will be substantially complete on our work on Fremont, Kenyon, and Nassau by sometime in the middle of this month. And then we'll be in a little bit of a holding pattern for the summer, and then we'll pick back up in the fall to finish out that work on the rest of the project. The SIG Rim basketball court project has been paved, and we're just waiting for the curing period to finish that off with the color coding and striping. The Thurlow Avenue project is substantially complete. We just have some punch list items that the contractor is addressing, Likewise, with the curb and gutter program, we're in the punch list phase. And likewise for the municipal building renovation project, that contractor is also working on some punch list items. The walkway project at the Sigrim complex is in construction. And the Sigrim restroom building is also in construction. That building was demolished earlier this week. The pickleball court resurfacing over at the municipal building, we awarded a contract to Nicholas Construction for that work, and that work is scheduled to be completed in the next few weeks. And the last item on here is the demolition of the gas station building and canopy, which started this week and will be completed before our moratorium this month. So, again, some good progress to report since the last meeting, and some exciting items on here to advance. That's my report.
Great. Thank you, Ed.
Yep.
We'll now move to our department head reports. Chief Adams, would you like to begin, please?
It's been a great day in the Margate City Fire Department. Thank you.
That all? That's all you got? Usually a lot more.
Not too much. I got too much to say already.
All right, thank you. Lisa?
Good afternoon. Just a couple things. Everything is good in finance. Just a couple things I wanted to point out. I received an email this afternoon from the State Comptroller's Office in regards to the lifeguard pension plan. So they finally have a draft of a report put together. They didn't send it today, but they said that I should receive it within the next couple of days, possibly tomorrow. Once I receive it, I'll share a copy and then schedule an exit conference if that's our wishes going forward. I'm very anxious to see the results of the report. Sticking with audit topics, as you know, Suppley Clooney was in conducting their field work. They came back on Tuesday to do some additional testing, which has been completed, and just waiting to hear from them probably next week sometime to arrange an exit conference. The report is due by June 30th, so I'm expecting to hear from them at any day. And lastly, bond council's been working with Ed and the individuals up at the state regarding the iBank, and we're scheduled to close with that tentatively on June 25th, and that's for the lead service line project. And that's all I have for now.
Thank you. Chief Hankinson?
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. First of all, as we all know, Memorial Day weekend saw huge crowds of visitors enjoying everything Margate has to offer. Actually, myself and my staff worked midnight shifts over Memorial Day weekend, and we can all attest to the large crowds that were all over our restaurants and bars. Since May 23rd, 2025, the police department has responded to 1,008 calls for service. There's been 8 arrests for various offenses, 159 motor vehicle stops, 12 motor vehicle accidents. However, as of today, we've actually seen a 10% decrease in motor vehicle accidents compared to last year. Last year at this point, we had 55. This year, we have 49. So contrary to what you might see on social media at times, the things we're doing are good, and hopefully they're working, and that can stay down as the year progresses. We had 37 juvenile complaints, 18 summonses were issued for parental responsibility. Just want to let everybody know, when we do have juveniles in town, and they're all over the place, every time we take a juvenile, we are responsible for that juvenile, and it takes a police officer off the street. So again, we wish we could write and issue every parent, but it's hard at times because it takes away patrol from other activities they should be doing and they could be doing. So again, we keep up on that, and it's very hard in today's day and age that we are parenting a lot of the children that come to town, and a lot of the children are your friends and neighbors' children who they let out to wander the streets. So again, sometimes it's your friends and neighbors who are causing some of the issues when their children wander around unsupervised. We had 37 noise complaints and 17 ordinance complaints. So again, we've been busy over the last week and a half to 2 weeks. So it's just the start of the summer season, but the holiday weekends, we always see a spike. Just want to make everybody beware, there's a new phishing scam going on right now. It actually affected our planning board. It's actually an email that comes from a planning board. It's like a planning board bot, and it's an AI-generated email, and It says that you've had approvals. We were actually hit with it on Tuesday, and we did some investigation today, and we actually contacted St. Petersburg Police Department in Florida. The same day as it happened to us, it happened to them within 2 hours, and it says you've gotten certain approvals. So I will stress to everybody, if you get something, make sure it's from an official Margate City website. That's one of the biggest things, because these websites, they look similar, but they're not, and they should say margate-nj.com. So just be aware of it. It's all over Florida, it's all over upstate New York, and Roger can attest to it. It happened to us. Also, now that it's summertime, make sure your homes and vehicles are locked. This prevents a majority of our car burglaries to homes, or burglaries to cars and our homes. It's just because you're on vacation, please be diligent. Make sure your cars are locked, make sure your homes are locked. Like I said, that's a lot of prevention. One last thing, just our Class 1 officers began Memorial Day weekend. They'll be enforcing parking and other various items. Like I said, they supplement patrol with some minor things that they can do as a Class 1 officer, but they do a majority of the parking enforcement in town. And like we all know, there's a lot of cars and there's a lot of people in town. So just be safe out there. That's all I have.
Thank you, Chief. Roger.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to start off by congratulating all the fire department promotions. That's fantastic. And to segue on to what Chief was saying about the fishing, there was one denial, and that's the first one that came in. A guy was denied, and when he was sent that email, and I called him up afterwards when I found out it was a prank. He goes, and then he asked me, well, did you actually change your mind? I said, no, unfortunately, no. So the next planning board meeting is June 26th in this room at 7 o'clock, not 6:30. And it's the time of year where, how many air conditioning permit applications have we gotten? About 10 a day? So we try to fast track those so people don't have to do without. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Palma.
Hello, good evening. Just a quick update from the building department. First is a reminder, our seasonal demolition moratorium is coming up June 15th, and that's through September 15th. And so no demolition of structures is permitted during that time. We've also increased enforcement of the construction work hours, so contractors are being reminded of that, no work allowed after 5 p.m., and we're continuing to monitor job sites closely. And congratulations to the fire department promotions. I look forward to working with the new fire inspector for the mercantile inspections. That's all.
Thank you. Dom?
Public Works, as Chief said, we had a busy Memorial Day weekend. We had water usage of 2.5 million gallons per day. During the weekend, especially Sunday, we accommodated about 250 to 300 cars through the yard to get rid of trash. And we were taking like probably three dump trucks a day off the beach of trash for the weekend. We started working on the fishing pier, where we have to accommodate our percentage every year. We started working down there, and we fixed the sewer that collapsed on the 200 block of Claremont last Friday night. So that, with taking care of the rest of the stuff we do on a daily basis, and the meter program is starting back up July 7th. So that's all I got.
Great. Thank you. Scott?
I'll be brief. On your list of resolutions, you're going to authorize the mayor, if you pass the resolution, to execute a subdivision deed. And then we will have settlement next week, so you have to sign a second deed where the city is selling a strip of land for 1,756 square feet at the end of Osborne Avenue. It's been a long process because we had issues with Green Acres, but they finally saw the light and they freed us up with what's called a Rossi list. So we'll settle next week. We will hold the deed in escrow until they build the bulkhead, which is going to be, I'm a little under the weather here, about 165 foot of bulkhead plus handicapped access, plus $226,000 cap, which goes to the city. So it's worked out really well for the city. We're very happy about it. And I'm also very happy to see the gas station is torn down now, right? Anyway, good. Very good.
All right. Thank you, Scott. Pat?
Just real quick, I got an email from
Commissioner Blumberg, he wanted to express his congratulations to the promotions in the fire department. He asked me to move that along. In addition to that, in addition to being involved in basically just about everything we spoke about here so far, you'll see on the agenda the social media contract has been extended, and that's due because it's come to an end, and we want to change the scope, take a look at making improvements on that. Met with the auditors. Still trying to reach out to the landscaping organizations about the blowers and getting some guidance on how to introduce that and bring that to fruition. Continue to research methods for transportation for this time of year. And the new offices are done, or the refurb of the offices are done at the City Hall, and I'm moved into the new office. So that's what I got for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Johanna?
Primaries are Tuesday, June 10th. The polls will be open from 6 a.m. till 8 p.m. We are back in the old in the municipal building for District 3 and 4. Dog licenses are available if you have a pet and you would like a dog license. We're happy to accommodate you for that. Other than that, that's it.
Thank you. All right, we will now open up public comment for any items discussed in this meeting only. So if anyone has any comment on items discussed during workshop, please step forward.
Stephen Altman, 9003 Amherst Avenue, Margate. Since we've had so many nice events with the fire department, I'd like to speak about an occasion a week and a half ago where my CO detector in my house started chirping. I took it down, changed the battery to a fresh battery. It continued to chirp. So I called the fire department and I said, I couldn't find an expiration date on the device. I said, how long are these good for? And there was a for sale date on it, which was like 2014 or something like that, and they assured me that it was probably out of date, and that's why it continued to chirp. And I was about to thank them and bring off, but the gentleman on the phone insisted that it would probably be a good idea if they sent somebody over with a CO detector to just check my house to make sure that it was safe. And they came within a couple minutes and did that and assured me to get a new CO detector and sent me to the hardware store.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Ken Dash, 9619 Pacific Avenue. Okay. On January 25th, 2024, several residents of our community raised many concerns about the Tequila Bar project.
Ken, excuse me. So this is public comment just for items discussed here. That'll be at the next meeting.
Oh, so not tonight?
Tonight, it's at the conclusion of workshop.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, it's okay.
Okay. It's my first meeting.
All good. Thank you. Any other comments on items discussed in workshop? Is there a motion to close public comment?
Motion.
Second?
Mayor Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second?
Mayor Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
All right. We will roll right into the next meeting. Is